We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened in the Archers so far this week. We will be covering Sunday, February the 18th, Monday the 19th, and Tuesday the 20th of February. You have been warned, there will be spoilers. So, Lauren, what do you think about the week so far?
Well, I feel like there's not all that much going on. I feel like maybe we've stumbled upon a sort of building brick of a week, would you say? There's not been much sort of big... Well, I know there's the stuff with Jolene tonight, but I'm a bit confused about it, to be honest, because seemingly she's even not letting on that there's a lot more plot going on, which I'd understand because she doesn't seem to be talking to anyone about this. But Marky, which first of all I don't think is a very threatening name for such a big scary gangster. Marky Mark, which is what I call my dad when he's being a bit cheeky. My dad's name's Mark and I call him Marky Mark. But also, why have they cast somebody that sounds so much like Vince to play him and have such a Vince heavy couple of episodes as well?
Yeah,
that's adding to my confusion. So that, along with sort of Elizabeth and Jolene. Elizabeth I find a bit sincere anyway, so I feel like I've had a bit of a sincerity overload the past few days. Supermarket chat, like it was all very, this coffee's not too, but like her eyebrows are like, you can just feel it, can't you? Yeah, and then like the stuff with Emma and Ed, I feel like I've put that in between my faves and my flops. If I can leap quickly to the faves and the flops, because whilst
leap away,
one of my faves was that Emma just getting stuff done, like talking about the phone call, doing the phone call, getting the phone call, arranging for the meeting, getting all of that done. This is what I've decided. I think we should do this. It's going to work for us. It's going to work for them. All of that stuff. Bossing her assignment. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But then on the flop side is that this is all with Miles Titchener. So it's a fave and a flop for me. How do you feel about them two?
Yeah, I mean, Emma was climbing her mountain, wasn't she? Going from base camp to level 2 straight away. Which, bless her, fair enough. She's doing English, not maths. That's fine. But I was fine about it, actually. I don't think Helen's going to be as bothered that they're using the land, because I think as long as Miles stays away from Helen will be okay with it. So I was all right with that. I just think it's ironic that the land that the Grundys have given up is now going to be farmed by the Grundys. So that was just a bit weird, really. But we'll go with it. I hadn't
made that link, but that is weird.
It's Ambridge. I love the mention of Tall Nettles, the poem that Emma had been studying. And I was having a look at this poem and how the nettles cover worn out machinery in a farmyard. And I thought, well, that's very symbolic of them, rising above the Grundys' farmland and covering all their tractors in the barn. So yes, quite like that. I liked and was perplexed by the phrase larky. Tony was described as being larky on his birthday, which is not a phrase I've come across, but
I've not heard larky.
It means creating enjoyment and entertainment, which I mean,
he was certainly doing that, wasn't he?
He was, but yeah, so Tony was larky. I mean, that's got to be a fave for anyone, because yes, who knew?
New word.
And another fave of mine was that David doesn't bear grudges, and then the next nanosecond Vince walks in and David's like, I'll go and gather the dishes or something like that.
Yeah.
Straight off. Thought that was that was good. So I had some faves. Let's just unpick the Jolene a bit more, because like you, I am confused. There's got to be more to it than a fan who was in a fight that was outside. It doesn't ring true to me. There's got to be more than this. Did Jolene witness something? I know I go on about Joy being in witness protection, but maybe it was Jolene. There's got to be something more to it. He's threatening all sorts.
There's got to be something more, because this is... Yeah, it's hard to feel connected to the storyline because I haven't got all the facts yet. And I haven't got the facts in a way where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? Like I am with other storylines. I'm a bit like, what? Like, I feel like, what about it all?
And also, Marky Mark is this villain, this awful person who's threatening violence, and he's sitting in the tea room in the cafeteria of a supermarket. Yeah. He's got his tray there, and he's got his cutlery and his cup of tea, and he's listening to Elizabeth, who wants to do that. It's not the sort of thing that a villain does, really.
Not very villainous behaviour from old Marky, is it?
We weren't booing from the corner at that.
No, I wonder where it's going and if it will be explored quickly, because I can feel my interest in it waning, let's say.
But if you were a villain and you're looking to sort of target Jolene and the ball, if there is a real reason, then it seems to me that he would threaten Fallon, because if he threatens Fallon, Jolene will keep away from Harrison, being her daughter.
Yes,
and it would be even worse than the bull going up in flames, which it might do. I don't know. I just hope it doesn't get that sinister, but...
It's a bit loose, isn't it? We'll wait and see how it develops. I think we need to keep an eye on it. Maybe I should hold my thoughts on the storyline until there's... But it's been going on a while. I mean, the last time I recorded, so 3 weeks ago, I'm just looking at my notes from last time, that was when the dog attack had just happened.
Oh, yes.
So that was that 3 weeks ago, or was that... But yeah, so this has been like a month going on. Yeah. So this has been a month. We haven't had all that much resolution, have we? We just I
think it's going to go on and on, I think. But like you say, we need to know more to really...
For us to get interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're overlooking the fact that Jolene's performance on the stage is so mesmerising and her singing is so incredible that people just are so smitten with her.
Yeah,
they start having fights and things. Yes, and follow her for decades. Sit next to her in the cafeteria of a supermarket. That they are there.
It doesn't scream stalker at me either. Like, I don't get a stalker vibe from Marky. Like, he's not being like that. He's definitely making his presence known, you know. He's not... I mean, he's attacking her husband with a dog and, like, he's making... Yeah. So it's not...
Yeah, that's all.
I don't think it's as much as, I remember all your country music. Like, there's something else going on there. But then, seemingly, like, if it was a money thing, because I know we were speculating early doors about it being a money thing, that would have come up in a conversation between the pair of them or with him. Like, that would have come up already. So... where is this going? Do you find it odd about Vince's involvement in it? Like, how keen he is to get it sorted?
I find it odd that he seems to be the most empathetic one in Ambridge at the moment. You know, he's reading the sort of signals from Jolene. Yes! Whereas Elizabeth, you know, that was a worry of mine when Elizabeth said that Jolene was her number one priority. I mean, if anything's going to strike fear into your soul, it's got to be that, I'd have thought. But yeah, I'm not
Were you also
convinced.
Surprised at how much of a fan of sheepskin Vince was?
That was another confusion, because he said it was the second best tea room. I thought it was because he's supporting Elizabeth and Lower Loxley. So I thought he was...
That's what I thought. I thought that. In fact, I hadn't even made the link, and I thought... When Natasha chased him and she said, "What do you mean second best?" I thought, well, he means Lower Loxley. Like, what else is it going to mean? And then it wasn't. What was it called? Oh, I forgot what the TV was called.
The Jolly Trivets at Brampton Green.
Yeah, and then he was so invested in all of these sound-absorbing sheepskins. Also, I thought Natasha and Vince having a conversation was a pair I was surprised to hear chatting with each other as well. There's just been a lot of like, for me this week. I've been a bit like, And I tell you what would have made you, the lack of food references.
Sandwiches and carrot cake was all I got.
Oh, I got cabbagey gravy, because they were talking about school dinners and saying it reminded them of cabbagey gravy. Yeah. And then I also put bar snacks, because there was...
True.
That's when Jolene had gone out to arrange the bus, and there was a lot of crisp packet ASMR going on. Right. And I also noted down working lunch, because Elizabeth mentioned having a working lunch.
With the trustees.
But apart from that, no cake or anything for me to get excited about.
But talking about food, if you go into a tea room, and I mean, I'm not a vegetarian, but if I went in a tea room and the walls are covered in cowhide, I'm not going to think.
I am a vegetarian, and I haven't even thought of that.
And they kept
I also
going
think
on
it was
about
cowboy themed. I wouldn't think, oh, this is farm themed. I think, oh, cowboy theme.
And the animals going off to slaughter and bringing the skin. Oh, I just thought it was awful. I don't like that. That's not what I want. No, it's just no. I didn't like the idea.
Can I mention another flop of mine?
Please.
That gave me the complete ick. So something that gave me the real ick, which is what the youngsters are saying, aren't they? Like a big turn off.
Yeah.
Was Will and his special stick. Oh!
It was horrible. I'm talking about Ed being the weakest link
that they'd found, and leaning up against this prop that he'd bought. I just thought, no, thank you. It really made me feel, no, thank you. Made me think, no, thanks.
Do you think Emma and Ed will get their bank loan?
Oh, I hope so. When it was all going well for them, I was feeling very hopeful. I was thinking, I think this is going to work out for them. Forgetting that there's also the step of getting the bank loan. I really hope so. I mean, they deserve some luck, don't they? Like, they deserve something. And I'd really like their life to be a success story. Just in the way that sort of like, we've heard from Clary and how she's saying that things never seem to work out and they're always just like keeping the wolf from the door and stuff like that. And I'd really, really love for... Like, they've seemingly got their head screwed on about it. Like, I'd really like for it to work out for them. Do you think it will?
I hope that they do. I hope that the Ambridge Fairy sprinkles fairy dust and makes it happen. I just worry that they've got no asset to secure it on and no income really that would cover that along with their other commitments. So if I was a bank manager, I'd have to say, no, I can't give you that loan because there's no financial stability for it. Yeah. And yet I do hope they do, because it was nice to hear the Grundy gloom sort of lifting a little bit.
Cat's here.
Oh,
sorry,
hello, gorgeous, Daphne. Most beautiful cat that there is. And Daphne's got views on it as well.
Yes, well, definitely. That's why she arrived at that time to say, I hope it works out for them as well. But I hope it works out, as is the case with these things. I don't know. It would be nice to have a sort of business storyline that isn't people like Tom and Natasha. Do you know? Like, it would be nice to hear like a self-made business of something that they're both passionate about. They both want to do it. It would be nice, but I don't know. Maybe by this time next week we'll all be celebrating.
Let's hope.
No, just the fact that Marky... no other flops apart from the name Marky just being not gangster enough for me. What about you? Any more flops?
Yeah, one more. The fact that Helen and the boys went to Paris and the thing that they liked the most was being on a train. I was like, well, you can do that here. They have trains.
Do that here. Yes. You can do that here. Absolutely.
Top of the list, trains were, so there we are. Okay, star of the week. Who is your star of the week?
I've given it to Emma, just because I think she was bossing a lot of stuff. I loved the bit about her assignment and her being so enthused about this Tall Nettles poem, getting stuff done. I thought when she talked about like liaising with Miles on the telephone and just getting like everything across, and I thought, I bet she's done that really well. And then just also being really conscientious at her job in the tea room as well, being like, oh, do you mind if I leave? And like, I just thought she was just doing it for me this week. What about you? Who was your star of the week?
I was wondering about Vince, because he is trying to help, even though we've all got some big question marks over it. But yeah, Emma, she's rising high.
Yeah.
Good for her. Okay, prediction. What prediction have you got?
Well as the worry about Ed and Emma and the bank loan, I'm a bit worried of whether or not they'll get, and I've put here, Titchned, because we don't know all that much about Miles. We know his relations and we know how that's ended up for other people. I feel less concerned about how Helen will feel of them using the land. I'm just concerned that a handshake isn't enough to secure this, and there's going to be some sort of drama halfway down the line. So that's one of my predictions, is that are they going to get Titchnered? The other thing is a small point, which was mentioned at the beginning of the episode, where Jolene mentioned that Harrison had some problems at work, and I thought, well, that problem is Harry, isn't it?
Yes.
We've got all that to come out as well. So I guess the problems he's having at work are the fact that he's had to arrest Harry when he was top off outside a nightclub, and that's going to come back. I can't even imagine the conversations that will go on around that. Like, imagine.
But we're here for it.
We're here for it. What about your predictions?
Yes, I mean, that there's more than Jolene has told Vince. That maybe Marky Mark killed someone and Jolene witnessed it. I don't know. There's just more there. But my other prediction is that Emma is climbing a mountain and going to become a motivational speaker.
Oh, I mean, I was listening to it. I was thinking, that's right. You should never aim for the top. You aim for the first point. And I thought I was there with her.
Yes, we were with
her.
She's
done very well this week for us, hasn't she?
She has. Well done, Emma. So that's it this week. We'll be back. Oh, we'll be back on Saturday with a special, which is an interview with Ben and Chelsea together. Very exciting. So Ben Archer and Chelsea Horrobin, which is played by Ben Norris and Madeline Leslie. So we're interviewing them together, which is very exciting. And we've got the Patreon event coming up in only a few weeks' time now. We do need to practice that at some point, Lauren, but yes, very excited.
That's on my tick list.
Yes, 7th of March. Really look forward to that. It's a live event and they'll be able to ask us questions and all sorts. So that's very exciting. There will be a link in the show notes for that. And we'll be back next Tuesday. It'll be the 4 of us, which is exciting.
Party!
Yes. But until then, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone.